Welcome back to the Cyber Risk TV live stream for Octane 2024 at Caesars Forum in Las Vegas. I'm your host, Mandy Logan, and today I'm joined by Charlotte Wylie, who is the SVP and Deputy Chief Security Officer at Okta. And today we are talking about building a company culture that is focused on security. Charlotte, welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here.
I am so glad that you are here, and I am genuinely thrilled about this subject. And I want to go back to actually the abstract where it says, every employee has a role to play in keeping a company secure. I feel like that's a much nicer way of saying what we in the security community often say as humans are the weakest link.
Yes. Yeah. A lot more polite.
It is.
Yeah.
So with looking at company culture and every single employee being critical to security and to even understanding the ramifications of identity as it works in the digital world, because most employees are not on the tech side. They aren't thinking along those lines. Will you please speak on why is it critical to make security a core part of actual culture?
Absolutely. It's been a huge part of the fabric that we've built into the security program at Okta. I say there's sort of 4 tenets to the success of building that security culture. So it starts at the top. So really getting that executive buy-in and making sure that your executive team can be almost your biggest advocate with the rest of the organization around why the security program is of importance, what are we trying to solve.
Is that lead by example?
It's lead by example. It's also around, I think, taking the accountability where it is needed in terms of we're making this decision and I stand behind this decision from a security standpoint. And that's really critical in terms of having that buy-in from the executive team. The second piece is around the values. And so I think ingraining into your company values an element of security is paramount, so that the vernacular that the entire employee base is speaking is that of security. At Okta, we have always secure, always on as one of our values, and it is well known, well used. It's part of the all hands that we have. It's how we award people with recognition. So it's really part of our culture. The other things then is how do you bring people along for the journey? And then we've looked at ways in which we can build security into our employee base, as your role is also a security role, and that's been around our internal bug bounty program.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of bounty programs. So definitely please tell, like, on an internal one, how has that worked and what has been your success with it?
Sure. So our employees are incredibly talented, incredibly smart people. They're also inquisitive and they're curious and they can see problems where there's problems that are existing. And so we wanted to ensure that our employees were able to allow for the security team to hear that and understand that, and in turn for them to be rewarded. So we instituted a new program called Stacks for Hacks.
Oh, interesting.
And it was an open forum for our employees to say, hey, I see a problem or I see an opportunity. And as a result of that, once the verification has gone through the security team, we award them for that and we say, thank you. And they do get rewarded with, we have something internally called Okta Appreciate points. And so they have those point system there. And we've been getting tens and tens of submissions of, they may not necessarily be security problems, but somewhere where there's an opportunity for improvement.
Right.
And so it's been a great way to get people excited and engaged around being on the lookout and being interested in making the company as a whole more secure.
That's wonderful. It makes me think of a friend of mine who gave a TED talk about that hackers are the immune system of the internet. And I think it's a similar concept that you in your own company culture are recognizing the talent, rewarding it, but also using the intrinsic skills they have built in order to make kind of your own immune system.
I love that concept. Yeah, building our own immune system, making sure that inside we're healthy, we're doing all the things that we need to do, and that's very much what the intention is of the program. We want to have an incredibly world-class security program, and we as a security team can provide that vision and that mission, but it takes everyone to get there. And so this is part of that, and it's been incredibly useful.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm very glad to hear that.
Thank you.
I would like to shift to talking about Okta's Secure Identity Commitment. Now, I thought perhaps I would bring out the four main pillars
Mm-hmm.
of that commitment, and then we could speak on each one.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Sounds great.
Okta's Secure Identity Commitment comes with four main ideas. The first one being to provide market-leading and secure identity products and services. Next, did you want to talk?
Oh, no, please, yeah.
Okay. I'll list them all. The next one is to champion customer best practices. Then to elevate our industry to be more protected for identity attacks. And lastly, to harden Okta's corporate infrastructure. So this commitment is out there, and from my understanding, it has actually produced a lot of specific actions and shifts within Okta, but it's for it to go to the greater good, to be an example for partners, for customers, for other corporations. So coming back to that first one, zero in for Okta's providing market-leading and secure identity products and services.
Absolutely. So OSIC, as we refer to it internally, so Okta Secure Identity Commitment, it is our long-lived commitment to both ourselves, our customer base, and the industry around our security prerogative, around what we want to be doing to secure identity. When we think about the industry at large, we want to be able to influence how other providers are providing identity, and that's very much come through in IPSI, our new standard that we announced yesterday. You know, where we've seen problems, we want to be able to influence those really difficult, complex problems that other people are facing in the identity space and in the security space, and really level up the industry to be able to tackle those in a unified way. We want to codify the problems that we're having and get an absolute buy-in across other SaaS providers and customers that this is the path forward. This is the new expectation. This is the new bar that we're setting around identity. And so that's very much how we want to influence the industry at large. When it comes to the other element of the industry is we have a very large philanthropic arm to our company, and that's our Okta for Good program. And as part of this, we have said we want to really invest in the talent pipeline that we see in the cybersecurity space. There are 4 million unfilled roles as it stands today. The talent is there. We just need to get them into the industry. We need to keep them in the industry, and we need to create that diverse pipe. And so we've made a big investment into Copath, you will have seen yesterday in our keynote, and we do a number of things to really galvanize a more diverse set of talent into this industry. And so that's how do we keep the industry alive with the talent that we need and with the right security skill sets. So it's been a big commitment.
Well, it is, and I'm curious very quickly, can you give me an idea of, I believe Okta's viewpoint was secure by design and secure by default. What is the difference between design versus default security?
That's great. So one of the key things that we've found is that our customers, you know, we love our customers, but sometimes we find that they can implement our products in a way that security could be better tuned. We could be providing some information and some advice about how to more securely implement our own product. And so we really wanted to set something in place which is around, we can design our product to be secure, but we want to make sure that that's being implemented in the same way as well. And so we've announced yesterday our secure identity assessments that we'll be providing, which is an extension on the Expert Assist program that we announced last year. And we have the identity security checklist as well. So we really want to make sure that our products are being implemented in the most secure way possible. Internally, the security team have a fantastic relationship with our product development teams. And so our customer defense team, where we see customer incidents, we're really looking at those in a way that we can say, what are some better security features that we can build into our product to better stop this? We all own this fight against identity attacks. And so we're feeding that back through to our product team and making sure that those security features are prioritized. And then that by default, which is, where are we making security feature decisions that we need to almost say this is just the way we operate. And so MFA for admins, that's a big decision that we've made recently. And so now that is expected. MFA for admins is rolled out, and it's no longer, I think, a decision that can be in the hands of the customer. It's in place. And so that's that default security that we're baking into the product.
Understood. And wasn't there also something for admins regarding the session authentication? I thought I read something else about
Session authentication?
Perhaps not. There
Okay.
was something else going on with the multi-factor authentication that was now being required for your admins, and I just remember on the side. But all in all, it sounds that these practices are assisting your company culture, but are also going into the second point of championing for the customers best practices.
Absolutely. We want to partner with our customers. We also want to learn from our customers, and so we really want that relationship to be bi-directional, and so that we can take on the feedback that they have around how we make our products more secure, and then also provide that back to other customers that maybe that they're looking at ways that they can better use their implementation of Okta in a more secure fashion.
Wonderful. And I think that goes along with the fact that now 100% of Okta employees use FastPass and have passwordless authentication. I feel that as a customer or someone who is onboarding and looking into Okta and going, oh, wow, these are actually being used real time all day, every day, we can go ahead and go with this route. So the third point, elevate our industry to be more protected from identity attacks. Now, this sounds like a societal issue. What can you tell us about Okta's commitment there?
Yeah, so two things on the phishing-resistant journey. Yes, we have implemented a phishing-resistant end-to-end journey internally, and it was a fairly seamless approach. Now, we do see that customers are struggling with articulating the benefits of that phishing-resistant journey within their own companies.
Okay.
They have the push notifications, the SMS notifications, and convincing the executive teams at large as to why would we change what already works is often a very difficult conversation for security teams to have, and really articulating that position of 80% of attacks either start with or leverage identity in some way, whether that's at immediate point of attack or through lateral movement, and what the consequences of that should be is a way that we always educate other security teams to say this is how you can demonstrate the benefit of phishing-resistant authenticators moving forward. So we've been on that journey. We want our customers to come on that journey. It's incredibly important for us.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And let's go to the fourth part, which we've kind of discussed now through our conversation, but Okta's commitment to hardening your own corporate infrastructure. Can you tell us about that process or journey?
I would love to.
Oh.
This has been a very big passion of mine. And so we have aspirations to be one of the world's most secure companies. And so with that, it needs to involve the entire company. It needs to involve a large program at play to do all the work we need to do internally to harden our corporate infrastructure. Over the course of the last 6 to 9 months, I've spent almost every waking moment with hundreds and hundreds of people across Okta, and we've invested nearly 1 million person hours in this piece of work, so in hardening our corporate infrastructure. We've been running over 100 initiatives and really looking at how do we make sure that when we think about the top threat scenarios specific to Okta, how do we make sure we address those potential risks and issues and those control maturity that we want to see? And so that's been a long-lived program that we've had underway, and as part of the OSIC, it will be continuing as we aim to really reach that North Star from a security standpoint around being the world's most secure company. It's been a very large effort, and almost the inception of the IPSI. So when we stared into some of the problems we were facing with some of our most critical applications in terms of putting in the right identity security measures, IP restrictions across service accounts or IP restrictions across applications that our employees use, simple things like SSO or lifecycle management and entitlements, we found that every application required a different flavor, or maybe we needed to work with specific SaaS providers to get that capability baked in. And Todd and I had a conversation about, well, this surely can't be a problem that we are facing alone.
Absolutely not, no.
So that was very much, I think, the starting point of we should think about how, as an industry, we tackle this. And so the formation with OpenID began, and then the conversation around instituting the standard was put into place.
I am very excited because I feel like for our audience, for all that are looking to expand their use of Okta, integrate more fully, or have not yet adopted Okta fully, that not only the news releases, the tools, the product, the resources, and even training that is available, I think it's beautiful. I really do. And I feel like it's incredibly helpful for the individual security practitioners, no matter the size of the organization, to go ahead and become familiar with where things are going, because Okta is setting a standard.
That's right.
Thank you for joining us today, Charlotte.
Thanks for having me.
You're so very welcome. This was an awesome conversation. Thank you. Thank you to our audience for tuning in for this live interview from Octane 2024. To find all the Cyber Risk TV coverage of this year's event, visit securityweekly.com/Octane.